Jane was a widow. Life had been challenging for her since she lost her husband when their only son Peter was just a small boy. The pain of losing her husband left a deep hole in her heart, but she knew she had to stay strong for Peter. He was her everything, her reason for pushing forward each day. Raising Peter single-handedly was no small task. Jane struggled to make ends meet, but she never gave up. She worked tirelessly, doing all kinds of odd jobs to provide for her son. There were times when they had so little that Jane had to sell her own clothes and belongings just to pay Peter's school fees. She made countless sacrifices, always putting Peter's future above her own comfort. Despite the challenges, Jane never complained. Her love for Peter gave her the strength to keep going. As Peter grew, he became her closest companion. They shared a bond so strong that they were inseparable. In the evenings, they would sit together, laughing and chatting about their day. Peter loved listening to his mother's stories, and Jane enjoyed Peter's jokes. Their laughter echoed through their small, humble home, bringing warmth and joy even during the hardest times. Peter adored his mother and never took her for granted. He always said, "You are my hero, Mom. I will make you proud one day." Years passed, and Peter worked hard in school, inspired by his mother's sacrifices. He was determined to repay her love and make life better for them. Eventually, Peter graduated and landed a well-paying job at a big company. His hard work and dedication paid off, and their lives changed drastically. From a life of struggle, they moved to a beautiful mansion that Peter bought with his big earnings. Jane could hardly believe how far they had come. "It's all because of you, Peter," she would often say, her voice filled with gratitude. But Peter would smile and reply, "No, Mom, it's all because of your prayers and sacrifices." Peter made sure his mother never lacked anything. He provided for her every need, from the finest clothes to her favorite meals. Jane had developed high blood pressure over the years from all the stress she endured. So Peter made it his mission to keep her happy and stress-free. He filled her days with laughter, jokes and love, ensuring she never had a reason to worry or cry. Jane was his first priority, and he treated her like a queen. The bond between mother and son remained unbreakable. They couldn't stand being apart for too long. Whenever Jane sat alone, she would look up to the heavens and thank God. "Lord, I give you all the glory," she would say with tears of joy in her eyes. "Thank you for blessing me with a son like Peter. He's the reason I'm called a mother. And now you have blessed him with wealth. He never gives me a reason to cry." Peter was Jane's world, her reason for living and her greatest joy. Every time she looked at him, she was reminded of how far they had come together. Life had once been so difficult, but now it was filled with blessings and laughter. Jane cherished every moment, knowing that Peter was truly her greatest gift from God. One evening, Jane sat Peter down for a heartfelt conversation. The room was quiet, except for the sound of their voices. Jane looked at her son lovingly and began to speak. "My son," she said, "you know how much I love you. I have raised you with everything I have, and you are my greatest joy. But now it is time to talk about something important: marriage. You are at the age where you need to find a good woman to settle down with. But I must warn you, not every woman out there is a wife material. There are many women, but only a few truly have the qualities of a good wife." Peter nodded attentively, watching his mother with respect. Jane continued, "When you choose a wife, make sure you look carefully. Be sure of the kind of woman you are bringing into our home. Some women can become jealous when their husband is close to his mother. They may try to break the bond we have built over the years. That's why I'm begging you, my son, be careful. I don't want you to bring home a woman who will bring pain to this family." Peter smiled warmly and held his mother's hands. "Mother," he said, I will never trade your love for anything in this world. Even if the woman I marry were made of gold, you will still be my number one. You have nothing to worry about. I will always love you and protect the bond we share. Jane's eyes filled with tears of joy as she blessed her son. It shall be well with you, my son. May God guide you in all your decisions. Peter then surprised his mother with some news. Mother, there's someone I want you to meet. I have been seeing her for a year now, and I think she is the one I want to marry. Her name is May. Jane was both surprised and happy. That's wonderful news, my son. I love this news that you just gave me now. Please bring her home tomorrow so I can meet her. I want to see the woman who has captured your heart. The next day, Peter brought May to meet his mother. As soon as Jane saw her, she smiled warmly and said, Peter, she is beautiful, but I hope her character is as beautiful as her face and body. Peter grinned. Mother, May is not just beautiful, she's an angel. You will love her once you get to know her. May smiled sweetly at Jane, but in her mind, she was thinking something entirely different. Look at the way they are talking as if I am not even here. They are acting like I don't exist. Well, let me enter this family first. Once I'm in, this nonsense will stop. I can't wait to make your precious son hate you. Old woman, I will show you who's in charge. Despite these thoughts, May kept her fake smile plastered on her face. Thank you for welcoming me, ma'am, she said. It's an honor to meet you. Jane smiled even wider. Welcome to our home, my daughter. From now on, you will be my daughter and I will be your mother. May pretended to be touched by Jane's words, but in her mind, she was full of scorn. You can't be my mother. I will never see you as one, old witch, she thought, but outwardly she continued to smile. I love you so much, ma'am, she said sweetly. When I marry Peter, I promise to take care of you. I will make sure you never lift a finger. You and Peter will live like royalty. Jane was overjoyed by May's words. You are exactly the kind of daughter-in-law I have been praying for. I can't wait for you to officially become a part of this family. You are a good woman and I already love you. Thank you, ma'am, May replied, still pretending to be humble. I appreciate your kind words. I promise to make you and Peter happy. Peter was thrilled to see his mother and May getting along. Little did he know that behind May's smile was a heart full of deceit and malicious plans. Jane, unaware of May's true intentions, continued to sing her praises, feeling grateful that her son had found someone so kind and loving. She looked at Peter and said, You have chosen well, my son. May is a blessing to this family. May sat there silently laughing in her mind. Enjoy this moment while it lasts, Jane. Once I am in, your life will never be the same. Peter and May were married in a small warm wedding filled with love and celebration. Family and friends gathered to rejoice with the couple, showering them with blessings and well wishes. Peter was full of excitement, dancing joyfully with his new bride. On the other hand, May danced with a hidden agenda in her heart, her mind plotting how to execute her plans against Jane. That night, after all the guests had gone, May sat Peter down with a troubled expression. My love, she began, her voice trembling. I need to tell you something. Last night, on our wedding night, I had a terrible dream. I saw your mother, Jane. She came into my dream to harm me. She tried to suck my blood to refresh her old body. Peter, your mother is a witch. Peter's face froze in shock. May, stop saying such things. My mother is not a witch. She's a kind and loving woman who has done everything for me. This cannot be true. But May persisted, her voice growing more desperate. Peter, I know it's hard to believe, but I'm telling you the truth. Your mother is dangerous. She has been holding you in her coven for years, keeping you tied to her. That's why you have always been so close to her. But now you are free because you married me. At first, Peter tried to argue, but May's persistence began to sway him. You might be right, Peter finally said. Maybe she's the reason I have always been so attached to her. Maybe she used witchcraft to control me. Thank God I married you and I can see things more clearly now. A few days later, May tested Peter's loyalty. She sat him down and asked, "Peter, do you love me?" Peter smiled and replied, "Of course I love you, May. You are my wife and I will do anything for you." "If you truly love me," May said, "then prove it to me. I want you to flog your mother. Do it for me and make me happy." Peter hesitated for a moment, but his love for May clouded his judgment. "If that's what will make you happy," he said, "then I will do it." Without hesitation, Peter went to his mother. Jane was sitting quietly, unaware of what was about to happen. Suddenly, Peter began flogging her with a cane. May stood nearby, laughing wickedly as Jane cried and begged for mercy. "Peter, stop! What have I done to deserve this?" Jane pleaded through her tears, but Peter's heart had been poisoned by May's lies. He continued flogging his mother until, overcome with pain and heartbreak, Jane collapsed and died. May, seeing Jane's lifeless body, turned to Peter and warned him, "If you cry over her death, I will leave you. You must prove your love for me by staying strong." Peter, blinded by his loyalty to May, buried his mother without shedding a single tear. But as the days went by, guilt began to eat away at him. He couldn't escape the haunting memory of what he had done to the woman who had sacrificed everything for him. One night, as May was sitting alone in the house, Jane's ghost appeared before her. Jane's spirit was filled with sorrow and anger. "Confess to Peter," the ghost commanded, "and tell him the truth about the lies you told. Tell him why you made him flog me to death." Terrified, May fell to her knees. She couldn't deny Jane's ghostly presence. The next morning, she called Peter and confessed everything. "Peter," she began with tears streaming down her face, "I lied to you. Your mother was never a witch. I made up those stories because I was jealous of your bond with her. I wanted you all to myself, so I poisoned your mind against her. I made you flog her to death out of my selfishness." As May confessed, Peter's heart shattered. The love he once felt for May vanished, replaced by anger and deep regret. "How could you do this, May?" he cried. "You made me kill the one person who loved me unconditionally." The moment May finished her confession, Jane's ghost appeared again with a voice full of sorrow and justice. She said, "Your evil deeds have destroyed this family. May, now you must face the consequences." Before Peter's eyes, May collapsed and died. Jane's ghost disappeared, leaving Peter alone with the weight of his guilt. From that day on, Peter lived in regret. He cried every day, haunted by memories of his mother and the love she had shown him. He realized too late how much she meant to him and how deeply he had betrayed her. Peter vowed never to marry again. "I will spend the rest of my life honoring my mother's memory," he said. "She was the reason I became the man I am, and I let her down. I will carry this regret forever." Peter lived the rest of his life in solitude, dedicating himself to acts of kindness in honor of his late mother. But no amount of good deeds could erase the pain in his heart. Moral lessons: always value and protect the bond you share with your loved ones, especially those who have sacrificed for you. Be cautious of people who seek to sow division in your family. Never allow jealousy or lies to influence your actions. Appreciate and honor your parents while they are still alive. Regret cannot undo the past. True love does not demand harm to others. It fosters peace, understanding, and respect. Thank you for following this story to the end. I hope it has inspired you to cherish the people who love you and to make wise decisions in your relationships. Remember, love should build bridges, not destroy them. May we all learn to value family and treat others with kindness and respect. Stay blessed.